Welcome to principle number 8, work. I love this principle. In fact, it is one of the central emphasis points of our family and of our parenting style. Work is a beautiful principle.
We are creators and we love to create. Work is the process of that creation. Creation is an attribute of God, and we become more like God when we create. So it helps us to move from chaos and entropy to progression and organization.
That's right.
Work does.
Yeah, that work takes us, as Margie's saying, from a lower order of whatever that is, from a room that's messy to a room that's clean, from something that doesn't exist to something that does exist, to a little bit of money to a lot of money. Work is the process that moves us from point A to point B and helps us on our journey in life. And it's essential that we engender a love of work inside of ourselves and pass that on to the next generation, to our children.
So how do you teach work to your children? And I think we have to help them answer a couple questions.
Yeah.
And the first one is, why is work important?
They've got to know why this is important.
Got to know why.
Well, and from us, the simple answer to that is, number one, it's fulfilling, and you get a great sense of growth and joy and happiness from working hard.
Yeah. It helps them be self-sufficient and independent. One day they're going to be on their own. One day they're going to be providing for their own family. And so learning how to work is important, and they need to know that.
Yeah, and effective work also not only gives enough for them to be independent, but also gives them extra surplus resources of all kinds, mentally, emotionally, financially, to be able to share with other people who are working on their way to independence and need a little bit of help in life. And that's lots of people around them. So it helps them with compassion and to be able to serve other people.
And then the final reason work is important is that it creates order. It creates progress and comfort for you. It's much more comfortable to live in a clean house than a dirty house. You can find things, and whatever, an organized home. So that's an important thing to teach our children, why work is important. The second question we should help our children understand is how to engender a love of work.
Yeah, inside themselves
and other people.
And the first way to do this is something we have loved doing, and that is the game of work. We've done a lot of study on what makes a game a game. Think about how much money and time and effort human beings spend on games. Well, why is that?
Like football games
and board games and card games and all, games of all shapes and sizes, video games. What makes a game a game? Well, there's 3 major elements that makes a game a game. The first one is there's a scorecard, right? There's an objective to it. The second element, and by the way, you can create a scorecard for anything in your house. The second element is there's a time constraint. So, hey, let's get this project done in the next 30 minutes. And the third element is a reward. Let's get this project done in the next 30 minutes. And if we do, we'll all go out and you get some ice cream. And so you create this framework, and as soon as you do it, activates superhuman powers inside of you and your children, and you get work done so much faster. So the game of work is the first way to engender a love of work.
Now, another way is to celebrate your growth, celebrate their growth, celebrate creation, what they've created, celebrate cleanliness with them.
Right.
And do it in a way that it makes them feel good. Use their love language, as we talked about in the last segment.
That's right. So celebration is so important. The next one is to give important duties that help them contribute to the family circle and the society around them.
Yep.
You can tell about
this.
Yes.
Okay. So we started this when our children were very young, probably 18 months to 2 years old.
Yeah.
2.5 maybe. And we gave them the assignment of sorting silverware.
Right.
So they pull it out of the dishwasher. We give them their little stool. They climb up there and they sort the spoons and the forks and the knives. And we tell them how important this job is for our family, because if you don't do your job, we're not going to be able to eat.
That's right.
And once in a while when they miss their job, then we talk to them and say, oh no,
we can't
eat. He didn't do his job.
We're going to have to eat with our fingers and make a big mess.
And it starts filling, and they begin to feel inside their heart that, oh, I am an essential part of this family and I need to do my part so everybody can eat. And little by little, as they grow and they progress, you can give them more and more detailed and important duties. But
That's right.
Mhm.
So the last thing that we want to mention here is what we've often called the Tom Sawyer principle, meaning make work a privilege. We've put barriers to certain work projects in the house. For example, you've got to be a certain age and a certain level of maturity to run the riding lawnmower. And if you're good enough and if you work hard enough, you can have the privilege of running the riding lawnmower, right? And this has been a badge of honor that is passed on from one child to the next to the next. It's like, hey, well, I'm big enough to take over the lawnmower. It's my turn. It's like, well, okay, if you're really good, we'll let you.
When's the last time you mowed a lawn?
I haven't mowed a lawn for over 20 years. It's like, because the children have earned the privilege of doing that for me.
There you go. Make work a privilege.
Make work
Great.
a privilege. Absolutely.
Okay, so what are the actions that we as families can take to help our children learn how to work?
5 specific things that we want to recommend for you. Number 1, you be an example of loving work and working hard. So find joy in your work for making money, find joy in house projects, find joy in repairing that sink, find joy in in whatever it is, you be an example of having joy in working hard.
That attitude will rub off on your
Absolutely.
children. Yep. Yep. And number 2, give specific, important daily responsibilities.
That's right. So just like the silverware thing, make it yes. Yeah.
Meals, daily.
Meals, silverware, all the different stuff.
Yep.
So,
all those things. Yep.
So number 3 is you can create large family work projects. Yeah.
And number 4, encourage entrepreneurism. So you can encourage making money. Each of your children at very young ages can usually learn how to make money.
That's right.
And that helps them.
And number 5, find ways to celebrate growth. If you celebrate growth, then you'll find that you don't have to force work. They'll be excited about doing the work so they can achieve the growth. And the reason is because we're all hardwired as human beings to love growth. It's baked inside of us. And when that gets awakened, then we'll want to move forward and to grow more.
The other day, we were all doing different work projects, and Enoch came up to me and said, "What do you want me to do?" And he said, "Give me something I can use my muscles because I really want to get stronger today."
Yep.
That was cute.
He didn't mind the work. He wanted the feeling of growing.
Yeah, specific. So I gave him a shoveling job.
He shoveled and it did grow his muscles.
And he measured how many pounds of things he shoveled. He counted.
So let's talk about the blessings and the benefits that come from this. And, unlike other things where it's just like the benefit is greater happiness, work has very specific rewards associated with it and benefits associated with it. So let's talk about a handful of those.
I would say one benefit is confidence in your children. They begin to have a self-confidence that they can do things, they can do hard things, and they're strong and they understand how to make decisions and how to lead out, and they begin to have a lot of confidence.
Exactly. The second thing is they learn how to make decisions and they learn great leadership skills.
Right.
When they're working on a project, you got to make quick decisions, and if you're in charge of the project, you've got to be a leader. And so it builds these 2 different skills inside of them.
Mm-hmm. Work ethic is another one. When you work hard, you feel good. You feel better.
Work ethic's an endangered species, my friend. It really is in our society. And the ability to focus and complete a task and work hard at it is absolute. You will set your children up to be an invaluable asset to any team, organization, or business that they're associated with, and family, of course. Mm-hmm.
Now there's honesty, dependability, and being trustworthy. Those are some really great character traits that they develop when they learn how to work hard.
They also learn that sacrifice is an essential element of life. Taking something and giving up something of lesser value to achieve something of higher value is an important aspect of life and is what really creates growth and satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. What about money management?
Money management
being
is
a
really
good
important.
Steward.
Yeah,
and taking care of their things. Yeah,
that's right. The child who works hard to earn a reward or money or a trip or some kind of activity really prizes that and cherishes it much more than someone who doesn't. They will manage that much better than if they're just given everything.
Right.
So the satisfaction and joy that come from awakening that spirit and that power of creation is also part of the benefit of work.
Right. And love, peace, and unity that come from family work projects
Right.
is, it's a wonderful benefit that comes.
We always said if our children had enough energy to fight with each other, they had plenty of energy to work really hard together.
So we'll go do a word project if they want to fight.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing we've talked a little bit about is self-reliance, being independent. That is an essential element. You cannot have a family, you cannot have a society with a bunch of people who are dependent on other people and are not self-reliant. And so instilling that characteristic in your children is essential for them, for their future family, and for our society. It's a big deal. So it's a pleasure sharing with you. We encourage you, teach your children, teach your family how to work and to work hard and enjoy all the benefits that we've talked about. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.